Okay, in this next example, we're going to talk about polar coordinates representations of a point, and we want to do two more polar coordinate representations of the same point. So right here, these are polar coordinates of a point. The first one is always the r, and the second one is always the theta. So when we are graphing that in polar form, we start with what theta is. Theta is pi over 2. So I know pi over 2 is going to be basically right here. Okay? And then my theta is, my r is 3, so I go up 1, 2, 3, and there's my point. It's right there. If it was rectangular coordinates, this would be the point 0, 3. But in polar coordinates, it's r and theta. Now I can represent this same point in different ways. Just to kind of backtrack a little bit here, let's say I was going to do, my theta was pi over 3. So pi over 3 is going to be, pi over 3 would be like this. And my r was 2. I would go up 2, and there's my point. What if I put in an r of negative 2? What happens is you just go in the reverse direction, and you go down 2 units here. And that's my negative 2. So I can represent this point and this point by either using positive or negative r's. So let's go back to our point here, the pi over 2. I used positive 3, but what if I wanted to use negative 3? Well, then I'd have to have my angle down here. My angle would have to be all the way around here, which is 3 pi over 2. And then from there, I would go from this direction, positive 3 would be here, and negative 3 would be up here. So negative 3 and 3 pi over 2 is my other representation with r less than 0. Now they want another one with r greater than 0. So we would have to, basically we would have to go around another time. So what does that mean? Well, if we're going around this way, that's pi over 2. If I go around another 2 pi and come back to there, then that is 2 pi plus pi over 2, which is 5 pi over 2. So 5 pi over 2 would still have a plus 3, so it would have 3 and 5 pi over 2. And that's my two representations of the same point. Okay? Let's do another example. Okay, now I'm going to do negative 2 and negative pi over 3. So there's a quick sketch there. Where's negative pi over 3? Well, starting this way, negative goes this way. So my negative pi over 3 is down there. Now if I want 2 units positive, I would go 1, 2. But now I'm wanting 2 units negative. So I'm going to go 1, 2. r equal 1 would be somewhere in here, but r equals 2 is there. So we start, the direction of the angle is this way. We're going the opposite direction. So there's the negative 2 and the negative pi over 3. Now we want another one with r greater than 0. So if I want a positive r, I would have to be using this angle right here. So what is that angle right there? Well, if we go around this way, I'm basically adding pi to that, so this ends up being 2 pi over 3. And now I've got a positive 2, so it's 2 and 2 pi over 3. And if we want one more negative one, I just have to go around, instead of negative pi over 3, I go around another whole time. So it's negative pi over 3, and then another 2 pi in the negative direction, which is negative pi over 3 minus 6 pi over 3, which is negative 7 pi over 3. So my other point is negative 2, negative 7 pi over 3.